This lesson is on how to create a multi-view drawing in AutoCAD, and you're going to notice that it's very similar to what we've been doing on the drafting table, but there are a couple things that are a little bit different. Make sure that you have the drawing slide out in front of you. This is not found in the notebook. It is found as a class that it should be in the front of the classroom. So we're going to be working on creating slides together. So it'd be really good for you to just watch this video, take some notes, then create it on your own. That might help, but if you're struggling, by all means, go ahead and watch this and work along with the video. So when we're creating a slide, we have to first determine how the front view is going to look. And a lot of you guys would say the front view is the part that's facing you. It's the one with the most features. But really, you'd be wrong, because if I chose the front view like this, as many of you guys would, you can see right here, this drawing does not fit. So we really have to go with length. So this is really going to be how our front view looks in this drawing. So the very first thing, and you may want to write this down in your AutoCAD notes page where you've got the multi-view section left. You may want to go ahead and write down the very first thing that we do in AutoCAD, beyond like saving and starting out at 1,1, is to create where these three views are. So we're just going to create really 3 different rectangles. Make sure that you do have the space between this 1 1/4. But we do create the outlines of the views first, and we also add our miter lines. So we're going to go ahead and work through that together. So I'm going to go ahead and start REC, and I'm going to start at 1,1. A lot of students would just say, okay, well now you're going to go over 4, but you can't do that. You have to do the at symbol. So I'm going to do 4, comma, and then my height is 1 3/4. Once I have this, I need to go ahead and offset so I can get the start of my top view and where my right side view is. But first I have to explode. And then I can offset 1 1/4, and I'm going to offset back and back. Now I have to offset the depth, which my depth is 3.5. So I'm going to offset 3.5, offset back, back, and then I can go ahead and connect my views and draw my lines. Very simple, a lot even easier and quicker than doing this on the table. Once I have the 3 views, I then need to go ahead and add my miter line. You can see right now that I've got ortho on, so it's only letting me go at 90 degrees. So I have to turn off ortho. And it doesn't matter how long this line is, but it does matter the angle. So I'm going to hit tab and type in 45, and that gives me a 45-degree angle. Whenever we're drawing multi-view drawings in AutoCAD, we really want to start, normally it would be with the front view, but we want to start with the one that has the most features, which is going to be the right side. So I need to determine how far I'm going to offset over to get where my cutouts are, and that is 3/4. So I'm going to offset over 3/4 here, 3/4 here, and then I can go ahead and offset back and down in order to get my 3/4 distance on my top view as well. If you ever forget to go ahead and offset really on 2 different views, you can always use your miter line, and like I can project my lines up, and I can project lines over, and then just get rid of the line really that I don't need. Once I have this portion done, I need to go ahead and figure out how far to offset up for the cutout on the bottom. I'm going to offset up a 1/2 inch. And I can go ahead and do the same thing here, or I can just project lines over, which we'll just go ahead and wait and do. Then I can go ahead and offset up 1 1/4. That's going to be really where my cutout on the top part begins. I can go ahead now and trim. So I'm going to trim these lines just like this. And once I have this view pretty much all the way done, except for my hidden lines for the holes, I go ahead and project these lines over. So if you did not offset up a 1/2 inch and offset up 1 1/4, you really can just kind of move your cursor, hover over where this point is, and then bring it over to the front view, and same thing here. Now once I have this line, we know that it's going to be a hidden line. I won't be able to see this from the front view. I can go ahead and change it to a hidden line. And we already have everything where it's spaced out, it's a different color. We already set all of this up a couple of weeks ago, or really about a month or 2 ago when we started doing AutoCAD in the very beginning. So once I have this done, I can go ahead and determine where my circles are going to be for my holes. I then use projection lines to project that to my front and right side view. So I'm going to go ahead and offset over 1 inch, and I'm going to offset down 1 inch. And then I can offset 2 inches for where my next circle is going to be. And I can do C enter for circle. I can type in that it's diameter. You've got to do that. And then my diameter is 3/4. I can do CO for copy. I then copy my circle to my second center point. Go ahead and trim all the lines. We are going to have to lengthen the center lines later on, but make sure they're all trimmed around it. It'll make it a little bit less confusing when you start projecting lines down. So now I'm going to just project down from the edge of my hole all the way down. It's going to stop at this hidden line. Hopefully you understand that, because the hole is going to be right here, and obviously we're not going to project it down to where there's nothing. So I'm just going to project these lines down and have them stop at where my hidden line is. So I'm going to project these down for the edges of my hidden lines. Now I can project down where my center line is going to go as well. Then I can project lines over for hidden lines and center lines and project these down. Once you have all of this done, it may be best to go ahead and trim just to make your life a little bit easier. If you trim lines like here and here, then all the other lines that you need to get rid of, you can just delete, which makes life a little bit quicker and easier. Now I can go ahead and change all 3 of these hidden lines for the holes, or really there's 6 total, but 3 sets to hidden lines. Then I can change these lines and the ones in my middle of my circle to center lines. Then I'm going to lengthen. So LEN enter, DE enter, 3/8 enter. Hopefully you remember that. If not, just reference your notes. I'm going to really stop here. I'm not going to lengthen all the center lines so you kind of understand how it's going to look. The last thing you need to do before we start dimensioning is to delete the miter line. We don't need the miter line to be showing up on the drawing. That's really just for your benefit of how to draw and how to project things over or up. So once you have the drawing completely done, you do need to insert the title block, make sure that you have all the dimensions you need. And hopefully you can see here it's going to be kind of a tight fit. Please, 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 I have a lot of students that always try to dimension the center lines right here. But guys, this, and even the center line here, that's not a feature. The feature is the circle right here for the hole. So please make sure that you dimension this 1 and the 2 up here on the top view, not on the front view. I also have a lot of students that they'll dimension this 3/4. They'll dimension it right here. That 3/4 is not necessary on the top view because this is where the feature is. This distance of 3/4 is really where we're seeing that cutout begin. This is just an edge. This is really kind of considered as nothing that you need to dimension. Same thing with this like a 1/2. Please make sure you dimension the object line and where this cutout really is occurring, not the hidden line right here. Make sure that you include really all the dimensions that you need. You can do it differently than how I've dimensioned. And once you have this done, go ahead and upload it to Schoology.